Welcome back to LarryB YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful inverted pleat dress. So I made this dress using I've made this with a freehand method, but lots of you hacks that we do this on a pattern so that it can be clearer. So that's what I'm going to do in this tutorial, and I used just 3 yards of fabric for this size. It's a plus size, and I was still able to achieve this with just 3 yards of fabric. So I'm going to take you through how I was able to cut and sew this in this tutorial. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay. I'm using this damask fabric for this project. It's just 3 yards, so I'm not going to be cutting directly on the fabric in order to save fabric. So we are going to be cutting on this paper, and then I'm going to lay it on the fabric to see how this is going to work. So this is the fabric we're using, and it is 3 yards. So the first thing you need to do is to draft your upper bodice. Okay, I've already done a little bit of that. The zipper is at the front, so before you start drafting, you need to add your zipper allowance at the center front here. Then all other measurement is going to start from this zipper allowance. So this is my armhole line, this is my bust point, and this is the waistline, which is my half length. Okay, I'm not really going to be doing bust here, so that's why I don't have my under bust here. So what I'm going to do now is to mark my shoulder. So it's going to be from here. You can see I have 2 lines. I forgot to add my zipper allowance earlier. So the shoulder I'm working with is 18 inches. It's for a plus size. So the 9 inches is going to be from here. So here I'm going to go ahead and mark my 9 inches. You can see, and then at that point you're going to drop it by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. So the regular 3 inches by 3 inches is what I marked here, although I'm still going to change the width. And then I connected for my shoulder slope like that. So here I'm going to mark my bust divided by 4. The bust I'm working with is 50, divided by 4 is 12.5. You can see I'm taking the measurement from here, not here. So here, let me just take it like this so that I won't get confused. You can see it's from here, not here. So 12.5 is around here for me. So I'm going to extend my line up to that point. So for me to get my front armhole, I'm going to take my shoulder measurements downwards as well, and then I'm going to connect like this. So here you're going to get the midpoint, divide that by 2, and then on that point you come in by half an inch, and then you draw your armhole line. These are just basics that I'm sure we already know how to do. So make sure that whatever curve you are drawing, you make sure that it is smooth and it's blending very well. So that's for the front. So now the next thing is to take our dart. So for the darts, you're going to need your bust span measurement divided by 2. Mine is 10.5, divided by 2 is 5 1/4. So I'm going to mark that on the bust point as well as the waistline. Then I'm going to make that into a straight line. Then you take your actual dart. You can do half an inch on both sides or 0.75 inches. Remember I said we're not doing a bustier here, so, and I'm not sure, I don't think I'm going to be adding line into this. I'm just going to cut facing for it. So this is what I have. So now after that, the next thing is to take the shoulder dart. If you look at the picture, the dart goes around the neckline area, around here, not really on the shoulder, but you can also do a shoulder dart. You can do an armhole princess dart if you want. Well, I'm just following what I have on that picture. So the dart is going to be just on the nape of the neckline. So for that, I need to know the actual neck width I'm working with. I have 3 inches here, but this is a plus size. I don't want it to be too choking, so I'm going to work with 3.25 or 3.5, which is going to be here. So I know that this is where my neckline is. So now for that dart is going to be somewhere around here. So you can place it exactly where your neckline stops here, or you can also just give it maybe 1/4 of an inch allowance here, or just 1 the first bar here, just give it a little bit of space there. And then from there you're going to take your dart. So I'm taking half an inch on both sides, so that's 1 inch. So between the 1 inch, I'm going to divide it into two so that I can get the center of the dart. So from there now you're going to take that straight to your bust point. You can see how it is. Then the half an inch that we are taking there, I'm going to connect that to my dart legs as well. So you can see how the dart is. But if you are working with a shoulder dart, all you just need to do is to measure what you have on your shoulder, divide it by 2, and then you take the dart along that line. But this is what I'm working with. So now I'm done. The next thing is to take my waist measurements and add my seam allowance. The waist is 45, divided by 4 is 11 point, I think around 11.5 thereabouts. So that's 11.25. So here from the zipper area again, I'm going to mark the 11.25. So you check what you have here, you just shift and continue your measurement till you have your 11.25, which is here. So now I'm going to add my seam allowances to that. You can do that on your paper, or you can also do that on your fabric when you're transferring to your fabric. So I'm just trying to confirm 4.5 here and 11.25 is here. So I'm going to add my seam allowance to that, and then I'm going to connect like this. So this is what we have for the front pattern. So for the back pattern, it's simple. I have my measurement here as well. This is my shoulder, but this is going to be the dart that I'm taking to avoid gaping for my zipper. You can see I just came in by 1 inch and then I connected it. Then this allowance that you have here is just a joining allowance. It's not a zipper allowance. There's no zipper at the back, so I just have half an inch allowance there to join the backs together, because it's going to have a seam at the center back. So here again, the same width that you used for the neckline of the front is what you're going to use for the back. So I'm going to mark the 3.5 that I used for the front there. For my front neckline, I'm going to, for the neck depth, I'm going to work with one or 1.25 is fine. Then I'm going to take my curved ruler and then connect that. So now for the dart at the back, you can also maintain the same neckline dart that we worked with for the front, or you can use your shoulder dart by dividing your shoulder into 2. But I'm just going to take like 1.5 inches away from the neckline, and then I'm going to connect that to my chest line like this. I've already taken my waist dart of half an inch on both sides here. What you need to do now is just to mark your circumference measurement. For me, that's 12.5 for the bust, and then for the waist is 11.25, and then you add your seam allowances to that as well, and then you cut it out. So this is what we have. So here now we have not drawn our armhole line for the back. So here what I'm going to do is to mark the same 9 inches that I have for the front, and then I'm going to connect it. So I'm just trying to get the actual measurement that I have here. It's like 9.5 because of the dart, so it's there, and then I'm going to connect. So for this, you just need to take your ruler and then connect that to your, you don't need to go in by half an inch here. Just take your curved ruler and then connect it to what you have coming from your armhole. So this is what the back armhole looks like. So if you look at this, you will see that we have a shortage of 1 inch from front and back half length here. You can see. So I'm going to come to the bust area here, bust point, come down by 1 inch and then connect that to my bust point so that the side seam will align. So these are all the darts I'm going to take out. So once we have our bodies, it becomes easy to adapt it to the for the kissing pleats that we are going to be adding. Remember, there is not going to be any seam for the kissing plate. So I'm going to grab my scissors now and cut this out. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut out the pattern pieces. This is my center back and side back. So let me label the center back, side back. And this is my center front with the zipper allowance. Okay, this is my center front and this is my side front. So if I close the dart, you will see that the side is going to align now. The side seam is going to align, you can see. So now what you need to determine now is the width of the pleat that you want to create. It's a kissing pleat, it's an inverted pleat, which means they are going to be meeting like this. Okay, so for me, I want it to be 4 inches on this side. This one will fold here and this one is fold there. 4 inches, 4 inches. So by the time it's fold, it's going to be two here and two here. You're going to understand that by the time we start forming the plate. So basically, for the two pleats to kiss, I need 4 inches. I need 8 inches. 4 for the first and 4 for the second. So which means if it's going to be on just one side, you are going to need 4 inches. I hope you understand that. So now you need to determine the amount of pleats that you will need. This is the front. For the center front area, I'm not going to have any pleats there on this zipper allowance here. So where I'm going to be having pleats is this dart line. So I'm going to be having a pleat at the dart line here for the front, and then I'm going to be adding another pleat at the side. There's going to be a pleat at the side, but remember that we are going to be having two sides joined together to form one like this, which means that out of the 8 inches, because these two sides are going to form one plate, they're just going to add 4 inches. So let me just add +4 here. Then you're going to add another 4 inches here to make up the 8 inches, just like we're going to do for this dart line here. This will come together to form the kissing plate. So here you're going to add 4 inches, you're going to add another 4 inches, which will make up the 8 inches that you need for your dart. The same thing is what is going to happen here. So now these are the darts that I'm going to have for the front. Okay, sorry, the pleats. These are the pleats that I'm going to have for the front. I'm going to have one at the dart line and then another one at the side. So that is done for the front. So now for the back, I'm going to be having a pleat. Sorry, I want to arrange it the way it's supposed to be. Okay, it's like this. So for the back, I'm going to be having a pleat at the dart line at the back too. So 4 inches, 4 inches for each of the sides. So you write +4 here. That's 8 inches. Then I'm going to be having another one at the side, which we have already taken care of when we were reconciling the front and back. Then I'm going to have another one at the center back. Remember, there's no pleat at the center front, but I want to have a pleat at the center back. So because this center back is going to be cut on fold, because we don't have the pleat to, we don't want the pleat to be separate. We don't want to join the pleat area. We're only going to be joining it up to the half length. So I'm just going to add +4 here, but I'm going to indicate that I'm cutting this part unfold for my pleat, so that by the time I cut unfold that I spread it, I'm going to have 8 inches. I hope you understand that. So for the back we're going to have 1, 2, 3 pleats, but for the front there is no pleat at the center front, so we're going to have just 1 and 2 for the front. So to add your pleats now, what you need to do is to bring in a fresh pattern. You're going to bring a fresh paper, then you're going to place it from your waistline here. So you can see, after placing it like this, you're going to glue it down. Then after gluing it down, remember I have +4 here and then another +4 here. That's the space that you're going to have between them. +4 +4, that's 8 inches. So from here you're going to mark 8 inches. Where that 8 inches stop, you're going to glue this like this, and then you go to the side as well. Then the +4 here, you're going to mark another 4 inches here, and then you add it. Okay, I'm going to do that now for both front and back, then I'm going to explain more when I'm done. Okay, so you can see now that I have gone ahead to add my pleat allowance on the new pattern, that on the new paper that I have. So this is the front, this is the center front. Remember that we say we need 4 inch for pleats on this side and 4 inch for the pleats on the other side, which will amount to a total of 8 inches. So from here to here, you will see that I have 8 inches here for the front, and then for the side as well, I'm going to be having a pleat on this side. So from where this stops, I added extra 4 inches plus half an inch to join the front and back together, which will give me a total 8 inches. I had to have to make this into a pleat. Remember, we have 8 inches in total to form a full kissing pleat. So that's 4 inch for one side, 4 inch for the other side as well. This is what a kissing pleat looks like. You're going to have a pleat like this, and then another one to meet it like this. So they're going to meet in the center. Okay, this is what we mean by the kissing pleat or inverted pleat. So to form the pleat, if you are using 4 inches for each side, okay, 4 inch for one side like this, and then another 4 inch for the other side, what it means is that the length of the pleat is 2 inches. Okay, so from here to here is 4 inches. You can see from here to here is 4 inches, then from here to here as well is 4 inches. So to form the first pleat here, it means I'm going to be folding these 4 inches into two like this, which is 2 inches. So which means that from here to here is 2 inches, here to here is also 2 inches to form a 4 inches pleat. Okay, like this. So that means you don't have to use these 4 inches that I'm using. If you want your pleats to be bigger, let's say you want your pleats to be maybe 8 inches, it means from here to here for you is going to be 8, from here to here is going to be 8. That means a total of 16 inches. So each of this is going to be 4 inch, 4 inch, 4 inch, 4 inch to make 16. If you want it to be 12 inches, it means you're going to have from here to here is going to be 6, from here to here is going to be 6, which means each of these, when you divide it into 4, you are going to have 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here to make your pleat like this. I hope that is understandable. So for me, I'm using a total of 8 inches for all the pleats. So that 8 inches, I'm going to divide it for each of the pleats. Remember, it's 2 pleats that is coming together. So if you divide 8 inches into 2, you are going to have 4 here, 4 here. So to make each of these pleats, you need 2 inches. So the width of the pleats, by the time you are done, the total width of each of these pleats is going to be 2 inches. You can see it's the 2 inches that is folding on each other like this. When you measure your pleat, you have 2 inches. The same thing happens here. When you measure it, you have 2 inches. All together, you are going to have 4 inches. So that is how you are going to fold it. The same thing is going to happen on this side, but on this side, you're just going to have one pleat, because the other pleat that is going to join it is still at the back. So this is for the front and this is for the back. So for the back, remember, we are going to be having 3 pleats at the back. There is a pleat at the center back, which is here. So the first thing I did before placing this pattern on it is to mark the allowance for the pleat at the center back, 4 inches. I'm marking 4 inches because this is going to be cut on fold, and by the time we fold and open it up, we're going to have a total of 8 inches. So you can see that I marked my allowance of 4 inches before placing this pattern. Then that's the first place. Then for the second place, you're going to have 4 inches, 4 inches here, just like I did for the front. I marked 8 inches before placing the next pattern, and then the last place is going to be on the side. Then you're going to mark the 4 inches here and add your seam allowance to join it to the front to make a complete split. So these are the two patterns that we have. So with this, you're not going to have any joining, and then you need allowance to sew it on this upper part. So you will notice that I started placing it, I added allowance, I did not place directly on this. You can see that I came up by, I think, 1 inch or half an inch, depending on the allowance that you wish to add to do this. I hope that is understandable. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to lay my fabric on a white surface, and then I'm going to lay the paper on it and then cut out my patterns. So when you want to cut it out, for me, I'm going to be adding allowance to join the dart here. So I'm just going to add half an inch or a quarter of an inch. You don't need any allowance on the side because we've already added that when we were drafting. So this is what we have. Remember that I said I have just 3 yards of fabric. So I just fold my fabric into two, and then I laid my paper on it in a way that the two patterns is going to accommodate it, because I don't have any fabric elsewhere to use again. So I laid my fabric on it. I laid my paper on my fabric just like this, to be sure that I'll be able to cut out the three the both of them together. So when you are laying your fabric, the fold part is where you're going to put the back, because the center back has to be on fold. So this is when I have cut it out, and I have already added my necessary allowances all around it. Okay, so this is what we have. This fabric frills a lot, so before I started sewing it, I went ahead to weave every part of it, because like I said, I don't want to line this. I'm just going to be using a facing for it. So you can see that I have gone to weave it so that it's not going to reduce my measurements. So this is the front, this is the second front, and that's the back. Remember, the back is just one piece because it was cut on fold. So now to do this, all you just need to do now is to place the center front and side front together on the dart lines. You can see. So once you place it together like this, you will see this part where you're going to be using to create your kissing pleats is going to be clearly seen. So you're going to place them on top of each other like this, and then we'll take it to a sewing machine now and run a stitch from here. Then you're going to stop, just so like half an inch into the pleat, and then stop. Then we'll create our pleat. We're going to do the same thing for the side, for the second front, and then for the back. You can see, remember that on that on the center back area where we have our pleat, that place was cut on fold. That was why our center back is together. We have just one piece. So let me refold it so that you understand. This is the pleat for the center back, and it is cut on fold. You will see that there is no joining there. So for the back, what you need to do is to first sew it at the center back. Okay, see the center back here. Remember, we added half an inch for joining it back. So you're going to run a stitch on the center back and stop here. So after sewing the center back, the next thing is to start sewing the center back to the side, exactly the same way you are going to do for the front. I'm going to sew it like that. So let me just open it up so that you can see that the back is one piece. So you will see it. These are the two center backs like this. You are going to sew them together. This is the center, one of the side back, and the center back you sew. Then this is another center back, and then the other side back you sew as well. So you will see that there is no joining for this. So I'll go and do this now and bring it back to show us. I've gone ahead to join them together. You can see this is the front. So when you sew it, you open your seam. You can see that my seam is opened and my edges are weaved already. So this is the first part of the front. Then after you sew it, once you sew it up to here, you're going to open the pleat area like this, and then you're going to sew it. Like I said, I already have a tutorial on it before, so you can watch a detailed sewing part on it. So after that, you go ahead and iron it and open your seam, then create your pleat. You can see my pleat now. I just took the place all the way to the hem, and then I ironed it. I used my iron to define the pleat more. So here, so that it can lay well on the upper part here, I placed an hemming gum there, and then I ironed it so that this pleat can relax well like this, because you cannot sew it. If you sew on it, it's going to show outside here. I don't want to have a seam there, so I just use my hemming gum to hold that part like that. So this is what it looks like. The pleats are formed. So this is the first part of the front. This is the second side for the front as well. I did the same thing. I opened my seam, created my pleat, used hemming gum to hold the upper part, and this is what the pleat looks like on the outside. Okay, so the only place that is left now is the side pleat. I also did the same thing for the back. This is the back. Okay, remember that the back is just one single piece, so this is the center back, these are the side. I sew it, I opened my seams as well, and then I used my iron to create all the pleats. We have 3 pleats at the back, so we have 1 2 3, and then I used hemming gum to hold it. When you turn it to the right side, you will see that all the pleats are easily formed. No matter how you scatter them, once you arrange, they will arrange themselves like this. So this is what we have. So now, to be able to form my side pleats, what I'm going to do now is to bring the front and back together, and then I'm going to join it on the shoulder. I'm going to sew the shoulder, and after joining the shoulder, I'm going to join the side up to here. So when you are joining this, you're going to place it like there's that same thing. You mark your seam allowance that you're using to sew. You're going to sew on your seam allowance, then you stop here. So once you stop here, you're going to join the sides of the pleat as well. Remember that the pleat is still opened, so you're going to join it on this side as well, and then you create your pleat by this side. So I'll do this now. I've gone ahead to create the side pleat as well. You can see 1.5 inch was what I used for my seam allowance, so I sew it up to the waistline, and then I sew the side close for the pleat. Then you're going to open up your pleat. So the detailed sewing tutorial is already on the channel. So this is what the first side looks like, and this is the second side as well. So I've created all my pleats now, and all together we have about 7 pleats. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 pleats. So this is what we'll have. This is what the dress looks like now. So the next thing now is to fix my zipper, and then turn the neckline with my facing. Like I said, I'm not going to be using lining for this. You can use lining if you want, but I've already cut out a facing for mine to turn my neckline. So this is my facing. Okay, these are the 2 for the front. So remember, the front is opened, and you have just one single one for the back. And this is the zipper I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to be installing my zipper now at the center front. I'm going to fix my zipper at the front, and then I'm going to turn it out with my facing, and then you're going to hem the lower part. So it's a very simple dress to make. The major work is on the drafting. Once you get your drafting correctly, it's very simple to sew. So I'll go ahead and do this, and then bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so my zipper is fixed now. You can see, so this is what the zipper looks like, and then I have turned the neckline. So this is my neckline now. It is turned with my facing, you can see, and then you weave your facing as well, so that the inside will be neat. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and you can also use the lining for yours if you want, but I don't want to use a lining for mine. Then I went ahead to fix a basic puff sleeve to it. So this is my sleeve. So what you need to do now is to iron this well, and then you're good to go. So this is the hem of the dress. I've also folded in, I added 2 inches extra for hemming, so that was what I folded in there. This is what the front looks like, and this is what it looks like on the back. So I'm going to go ahead now and give it a final ironing, and then I'm going to take it to the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. So this is what we have. This is what it looks like. You can see how beautiful it is looking, and we were able to achieve this with just 3 yards of fabric. So once you follow these steps, you will get it. We have 7 pleats all together. We have 2 in front, and then we have 3 at the back, then 1 on each of the sides. This is what the back look like as well. You can see how the pleats came out really nice. So if you want your pleats to be more than this, you just need to increase it, just like I explained in the pattern. I'll see you in the next one.